Right, so today we are going to start tackling getting rid of this awful fish pond, which is just complete and utter mess. Wasn't built properly in the first place, and clearly it's just an eyesore. So, time to tackle that, and we'll see how we get on. So this is pretty much what we were afraid of. This is actually built out of blocks, and pretty well actually as well, which is surprising for this house. That is proper solid. So yeah, it's going to be quite a job to deconstruct this. But as Rachel says, how do you climb a mountain? One step at a time. You know, from a comedic standpoint, this house is just the gift that keeps on giving. So, in order to make a little raised area at the back, instead of, you know, maybe building it up in a normal kind of way, they've just put some bags of sand down underneath the plastic lining. I mean, what is this? Honestly, these people are just something else. Right, so this is the state of play at the moment. We have demolished most of the fish pond apart from this corner, which we'll need to get a bit of help with. We have jet washed all the stones that came out of the pond. Those are going to get reused in our little water feature, which we'll do later down the line. This is all the construction hardcore stuff, which we're going to have to take to the tip, but I think what we'll probably do is actually put it in a skip, because that'll be a bit easier. But we'll only do that once we've got rid of that last bit of wall. And then obviously we've got some wood here, that's also going to go in the skip. But what we're going to do for now is just put everything in the shed / studio room, because we're not using that really for anything else. And then when we're ready, we'll get the skip and just put everything in the skip. Okay, so it's the end of a pretty tiring but successful weekend, and we have demolished pretty much all of the fish pond apart from this one corner. I've also dug down and got rid of most of the foundations. This is going to stay because that essentially is the foundation for the wall, and that's the edge of the foundations for the studio room. So those can stay because there's going to be a planter along the back here and also a planter coming down here, so that will be underneath the planter, so it'll be fine. The front bit I've removed up until the point where this brickwork is here, and then obviously when we remove this, can take out the rest of the foundations. The only place where I haven't quite managed to get rid of all of the foundations is here. It's incredibly thick here for some reason. I spent many hours chipping away at it, and there's still tons of it left, so this is going to need some more bulky equipment, I think, to get rid of this. But basically it's going to come all the way along here, and all of this is going to go. In here we have organized everything. So on the left here, this is all stuff that we are keeping, and on the right here, this is all stuff that's got to go in the skip. This should all go into the skip without too much trouble. That is all the insulation from the roof, which I've now removed. It's pretty bulky stuff, so I might actually just take this separately to the local recycling centre, and then we can put this stuff in the skip. But it will really depend on how full the skip is looking when we get it. On this side, just got a few odds and ends that we're keeping, and down here in the corner are all of the rocks, and those are going to eventually be used in a new water feature. We've also kept some bricks, which hopefully I can use when I'm doing all of this, because I need to put another line of bricks along the back here. So yeah, really the next studio job is the roof is going to come off, and the new roof will then go on. But at least now that we've got rid of all the insulation, this can properly dry out, because those were still soaking wet on the inside. It's actually already pretty much dry, so it was just the insulation that was keeping it wet. So then in this corner here we have this massive slag heap, which is kind of annoying, but this is rubble, which is just going to go essentially at the top of the skip on top of everything else. And this is essentially, it's a mixture of stones and earth, but it's very low quality stuff. You wouldn't really grow much in that. It all came out of this hole here. So we're going to try and put as much of that in the skip as possible as well. And then this hole will be filled with proper topsoil. We actually have an entire bin full of topsoil, and very good quality stuff as well. It's full of earthworms and little animals of various types. So that's great. We can use that to fill in this area, so that we can grow things. So the plan will be that eventually what we're going to do is extend this decking out to basically where that bush thing is, kind of like an L shape coming out a little bit further. And that's going to be the kind of barbecue area. And then this area will be pretty much as it is, but we'll probably replace all of these decking panels with new ones, because as you can see, they are starting to rot, and they're not in a very good condition generally. Behind here we've put some waterproofing so the soil's not directly up against the wall, because actually down in that corner it is a little bit damp, and I think that's just because of the soil being up against the wall above the damp course. So we put some waterproofing all the way along there. That should hopefully help with that. But eventually this is going to be a planter going all the way along here, so when we do that we'll do a proper waterproof coursing at the back to prevent any water leaking through. So that's about it for now, and we will continue as and when we have the time.